The industry might still be getting back up to speed post-pandemic, but there was no shortage of bike launches in this last year. We're going to take a look at the new bikes that have impressed us the most, the ones we'd recommend if you're after the latest and greatest. That doesn't mean the most expensive. Sure, we have some so-called halo bikes in our list, but we've looked at value for money as well as pure performance, and they're not all made of carbon. Let's kick things off with a bike that is definitely in that halo category, and that we would say is truly heavenly, the Colnago C68. The perfect blend of tradition and technology, this really is a next generation classic. It's still handmade in Italy, as all the C-Series Colnagos have been, and is still made up of separate tubes rather than a monocoque. This time though, the lugs are incorporated into the tubes themselves. For example, the top tube includes the lugs that join it to the head tube and the seat tube, giving it a smooth, modern look. Colnago also offers a version with a 3D printed titanium lugs, so that you can have a fully made-to-measure C68. It comes with a brand new CC01 handlebar that will be used with other new Colnagos in the future, and so that you don't have to worry about the time-consuming job that is dismantling an integrated cockpit, it comes with a ceramic speed headset that has a lifetime guarantee. We gave the C68 5 stars when we reviewed it. If you're after the classiest superbike out there, this has to be it. As you'd expect, it's reassuringly expensive, with the frame set costing just over £5,000, while the Dura-Ace Di2 build that we reviewed is just under £12,500. Cannondale's new Synapse comes with SmartSense, integrated lights and radar that run off a single battery. This sort of a thing is commonly built into e-bikes, but it's the first time we've seen a major player like Cannondale implement it into one of its big selling models. Cannondale says it's all about convenience and confidence, and when we rode it, we absolutely understood where it was going with it. Daytime running lights and rear-facing radar are two things that a lot of us don't leave home without, and with this bike, you actually can't leave home without them. The bike itself has been completely redesigned and has a beautiful ride quality. It has a classic endurance geometry, the same as before, but comfort has been improved. It has clearance for 35mm tyres, and according to Cannondale, offers the smoothest ride yet, and we're inclined to agree. You can buy the Synapse Carbon 4 without lights and radar, but still SmartSense compatible for £2,400 with a Tiagra spec, or you can go right up to £9,000 for the Synapse RLE with Dura-Ace Di2 and all the lights and radar. Game changer is an overused word, but it's the only one to describe the Synapse. If you haven't heard of Vaast yet, well, you have now, and we think you'll be hearing a lot more about this exciting new American brand in the future. The Vaast R1 is made from magnesium tubing, which it says is lighter than aluminium, stronger than steel, and is priced competitively against aluminium. Alongside the claimed performance benefits, magnesium is easier to recycle than aluminium, and Vaast also uses fibre-based plastic-free packaging and partnering with Green Worldwide Shipping to offset the carbon emissions of its shipping. So, we've got strong, light, and cheap. Can we really expect all three, or must we pick two, as Keith Bontrager famously said? The Vaast R1 list price of £2,299.99 is towards the cheaper end of high-performance alloy bikes equipped with Shimano 105, whilst the weight is 8.93 kilos towards the lighter end. The weight-to-price ratio is actually really quite impressive. We didn't test it long enough to be able to comment on the strength, but there are some very industrial-looking welds holding the tubes together that could be a bit neater and don't look as if they will be breaking anytime soon. The Vaast is in this list not just for the magnesium novelty factor, it stands out as a great option at this price point on its own merit. The fifth generation of the German brand's lightweight climbing bike is an evolution rather than a ground-up redesign. However, what to the naked eye may look like minor refinements have yielded some major improvements, according to Canyon. It lists the key areas where the new Ultimate improves over its predecessor as better comfort and improved ergonomics with room up to 32mm wide tyres, reduced drag saving up to a claimed 10 watts for the frame set alone compared to the previous model, invisible integration of cables and lines in an easy fitting cockpit with simple height and width adjustment and no steerer tube cutting needed, and a very low weight, a claimed 6.3 kilos for the flagship Ultimate CFR Di2. We rode it at its launch and were impressed by the refined ride quality and the new geometry, which is now the same as the Air roads. But we also love that Canyon has kept the Ultimate's instantly recognisable aesthetic. In a world full of bikes with drop seat stays and deeply sculpted carbon, the Ultimate provides a breath of fresh air with its gentle lines, classic looks and colourways. Pricing starts at £2,699 for the Ultimate CF SL7 with mechanical Shimano 105, and goes up to £10,899 for the Ultimate CFR E-Tap with SRAM Red axis and Zip 353 NSW wheels. The third iteration of British brand Fairlight Strael road bike is made from Reynolds 853 and 725 tubes, all custom made for the brand. And it's these tube profiles that make it something really special. The triple butted top tube made from Reynolds 853 is particularly distinctive. It's fully ovalized, which Fairlight say is a critical component in its desire to deliver a comfortable ride. And if you're really looking for luxury, the rear dropouts are made in partnership with Bentley. The impressive workmanship and attention to detail are mirrored throughout the Strael. Every area of the bike seemingly has a clear purpose, which is then beautifully executed. A few added details complete the Strael's thoughtful design. Mounts for mudguards, a rear rack, and an extra bottle cage on the underside of the down tube. A modular cable guide system that works across mechanical group sets, as well as Shimano Di2 and SRAM E-Tap, and internal routing for a dynamo light on the carbon fork. To ride, it excels across the board with a connectivity to the road that inspires confidence, whether you're cruising along or looking to put the hammer down. The frame set costs just under £1,400, while the Ultegra build we reviewed goes for £3,099. It's fairly priced for a bike that will last you well beyond 2023 or even 2033. Hang on, isn't this the bike that cycling journalists always claim was the first ever aero road bike back in the early noughties? Well, yes and no. The Soloist has come back as what Cervelo says is an affordable, practical bike for what it calls the week in, week out amateur racer. It's a touch lighter than the S5 and significantly more aerodynamic than the R5 according to Cervelo. There are a few similarities to the latest Caledonia in there too, including the dropped rear stays which allow up to 34mm wide tyres. You can buy the Caledonia with cable operated gearing, but the Soloist undercuts it by a few £100. The Soloist 105 retails for £3,000 while the Ultegra Spec model costs £3,500. While we'd never try to convince anyone that this isn't still a large sum of money to spend on a bicycle, it does make the Soloist far more affordable than Cervelo's other race-focused offerings. The most expensive models are equipped with Shimano Dura-Ace Di2 and SRAM Force Rival E-Tap Axis, and are £6,800 and £7,100 respectively, around half as much as the top S-Works Athos. Trek overhauled the Domane's ISO-speed suspension system in the pursuit of reduced weight and greater simplicity. It's now a rear-end system only and it's non-adjustable, with Trek saying Domane users told them that the adjustability function was rarely used. SLR builds are as much as 700 grams lighter than the outgoing models, while SL builds shave around 300 grams off the total weight. You might think this will make the bike lighter, but at the expense of comfort. Not so, says Trek. It claims the ISO speed on the new bikes is set to mirror the previous system in its most comfortable setting. This bike is too new for us to have tested, but earlier in the year, when we reviewed the outgoing version, we said it was the smoothest thing on two wheels, but its weight had crept up over the 9 kilo mark. That was really our only criticism. Pricing starts at £3,300 for the new Domane SL5, which features Bontrager Paradigm SL wheels and a mechanical Shimano 105 group set, and it goes up to £12,500 for the red E-Tap Axis SLR9. So we have incredibly high hopes for the 4th generation Domane, and despite not having ridden it yet ourselves, we'll stick our necks out and include it in our best road bikes for 2023. Well, there we have it. That's our roundup for what we think are the best road bikes for 2023. Do let us know though, what's on your list? Is there anything you've got your eye on that maybe we haven't included here? Let us know down in the comments. If you've enjoyed the video, then drop it a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, and we'll see you again very soon.